Now we're gonna do a Legends review. All 23 FC Barcelona Legends. We're gonna review every single one of them. And at the end, I'm gonna release some of the Legends that I don't use at all and make them a trainer. Basically, I'm sacrificing quantity of players for quality. The higher the level your players you are, the better they will perform. Let's jump right into it. Alrighty, Thierry Henry. Now the good thing about Thierry Henry, he's got a decent form. And other stuff is pretty obvious. With dribbling, with pace, with finishing. Overall is a decent player. And I like to use him as a wing forward. Believe it or not, he plays much better for me as a wing forward. He is definitely staying. I mean, who would release Thierry Henry? Ronaldinho, I don't need to say anything apart from the fact that Ronaldinho's form is 3. That's why I don't like him. Same thing with Ronaldo. Beastly striker, but his body control and his form is 4. So every time when I go online, I'm praying that he's actually on a good condition. Next, obviously, as I said with Ronaldinho, the form lets him down. He's definitely not a player you want to keep him for 19 minutes unless he's in a good form. His stamina is decent. 82 stamina is pretty good. When you go online, you know, most cases, you know, it's really, I mean, I understand the way that the form works online, so people won't white bench. Next, we have Puyol. Do I need to say anything? I mean, these are the obvious ones. There's not much to say about them. Definitely, you'd be crazy if you want to release Puyol. The only thing is he's pretty short to win in headers. And definitely, he's got a high rating to actually score with headers as well, to join him into attacks. And he never scored a header. 0 goals. 101 appearance and 0 goals. So, but in defending, his positioning, that's what I like. Apart from the obvious attribute from a player, I like their movement. A lot of players, like, I always give players at least 5-10 games before I actually judge them, regardless of their form. When it comes to Rivaldo, the best way to use Rivaldo is as an AMF, because he's got the classic 10. As a CMF, he's always lost. It's like, I don't know whether he is playing as a track back, is he joining attack? So the best way to use Rivaldo, I would recommend using him as an AMF. He plays much better when I use him as an AMF, unless you're using a very aggressive manager. Next, we have, who do we have the next legend? I'm using, basically I'm releasing a lot of legends that I don't use. Sergi Baron, oh man, I actually didn't like him at the beginning, but as you can see, he's leveled up right now. He likes dribbling, but he's got the pace, he's got the physical contact, and that form, his form is 8. He is barely out of form when I go online, and his stamina, he's the only player that I don't need to give him stamina, you know, maybe 5 games, sometime up to 10 games, believe it or not, and then I will give him a stamina. So he's one of the players that you definitely want to use, and he can actually, he never leaves his position. Same thing with Enrique Iglesias, sorry, I mean Luis Enrique. As a box-to-box, the best way to use Luis Enrique is as a center midfielder. This guy is everywhere. He scores with headers, he wins balls, he assists, he's got 39 goals, and I only use him as a center midfielder. Occasionally, I use him as a fullback, but the best way to use Luis Enrique is he's a box-to-box. Use him as a center midfielder. Do not use him as RMF and RMF, because formation was 4-2-3-1. Your LMF and RMF has to be players that are really, really offensive in a way. So in my opinion, in my experience, after all these games that I use him, Gary Lineker, I'm not really a fan. He's got a decent finishes. He's like a bad version of Filippo Inzaghi, basically. So he is definitely going. I mean, when I have Ronaldo 9, when I have Cristiano, when I have all these strikers, who the heck is Gary Lineker? No offense. And he's definitely not for me. Fox in the box, he is short. The only thing is with Gary Lineker is that when you get the ball around the box, just turn and shoot. He lacks dribbling. He's got okay stamina. His jump is alright, but the finishing is unbelievable. Just turn and shoot. Personally, for me, I'm not keeping him because I have better strikers. And I do have slots. I just release players that I don't need, basically, so I can focus on the players that I want to level up in a way. I'm just like that weird. So if you have him, if you don't have other choice, I'm not saying Gary Lineker is bad. Is it Gary Lineker or Gary Lineker? Alright, next, who we have? Next legend, Xavi. Not for me. As we know, in PES 2017, aerial balls are really, really OP. So I don't like short center midfielders. I'm not a fan. I mean, with Xavi, he's physically not that strong either. So Xavi's going. Edgar Davids, he is staying. A lot of people say, oh, Edgar Davids never joins attack because he's a destroyer. Destroyers always keep the opponent's attack in check, and Davids, even when you use him as a center midfielder, he barely goes forward unless there are situations when you are holding the ball around the box. He does give you support. But man, I mean, do I need to say anything? Those long ranges with Davids, unbelievable. Philippe Cocu, one of my favorite legends when it comes to midfielders. I use him a lot. He won headers over Ronaldo, enough said, you know. So he's an anchor man. I use him as a DMF. He is fucking solid. His movement and attack and defense, absolutely balanced. He's got decent form. He's a good passer, one-touch pass, weighted pass, pinpoint crossing. So definitely keep Philippe Cocu. Larson is staying. I do like my super subs. He's got decent form. I normally don't keep players their form is below 4 unless I really need them in a way. So when it comes to Larson, he's definitely staying. He's good as a super sub. If you have him, make sure to sub him on minute 60. Don't start with him if you have better strikers, but he's definitely good and to keep. Even to start with him, decent stamina, decent form. He likes a little bit of a dribbling, but definitely a legend that I personally would want to keep, and I am keeping him. The only thing he lacks is body control. Next, we have Haji. Again, I don't like midfielders who are very short, and I do have a lot of AMFs. I mean, for me, Francesco Totti is there. His form is 5. I did use him. He's very clumsy on the ball, but definitely a good passer, definitely a good finisher. I mean, if I given a choice, like I have Ronaldinho, I have Totti, I have Rivaldo, all these AMFs. Basically, if I have 5 AMFs, I want to focus on 3 of them and level them up and keep using them instead of having 5 of them and the other 2 never plays. I'm better off just to make them a trainer. I might not even give my other players much points, much experience points if I make them a trainer, but I just don't like to keep players that I don't use. And I do have 145 slots as well. Frank de Boer, the 2 brothers, I don't like them at all, but he's got decent form. Surprisingly, I didn't like him based on his attributes. You know, he's very slow, but he's a center back who you can orchestrate the attack deep. He's got a decent passer. He can send those long balls and counters, and I like his positioning because he is short. He doesn't leave his position, Frank de Boer. Van Bommel, I did in this video. It shows that I am actually keeping him, but I actually released him, even though I only have 1 destroyer, which is Mascherano. I did not want to keep Van Bommel, but if you don't have anyone better, Van Bommel is pretty decent. Decent stamina, decent kicking power, hitting those long rangers in set-piece situations. In my opinion, position-wise, Van Bommel is alright, but he kinda, like, when I use him as a center midfielder, it seems like he's better as a DMF, but in a formation with 2 DMFs, not like using him as a formation with 1 DMF. I would not recommend a destroyer anyway. I recommend a anchorman. So Van Bommel in general, he's okay unless you have someone better. Riquelme, I did not want to release this guy, but stamina 55. No way a midfielder with stamina 55 is staying in my team. I don't care how good he is. He is good to come on. He's got absolutely beautiful finishing and passing, and he's kind of decent on the ball with the body control of 80. Personally, for me, this is about what I think, who I'm keeping, and what I suggest for you. Riquelme is not bad unless you have someone better, but that stamina, no. Deco, I love Deco. He's one of my second best favorite midfielders, apart from Cocu. And Ronaldinho and Rivaldo, that's the obvious one. Deco's definitely staying for me. I love him on the ball. It's like his player ID, the way he dribbles, basically. And what I like about him, in attack and defense, he never leaves position, even though he's a creative playmaker. Creative playmakers normally play SS, but Konami's playing style card is fucked up right now. Patrick Kluivert, I am a big fan in real life, but sadly, a player with Form 2 has no place in my club. He does have, now his player ID is absolutely beautiful. He's got the best ball control for the goal player. Like when you give him those long balls over the shoulder, those kind of, tricky first touches and the reception is absolutely amazing. But his form is 2. So when I put him in my squad, he is barely in form. He's barely in a good condition. For that reason, Patrick Kluivert, goodbye. But if you don't have anyone better, I think he's okay. I think his stamina's alright, physically strong. You want to give him some area balls. Litmanen, for me personally, has no place because I have better players. But ideally, I would suggest if you have Litmanen, if you really need, you don't have anyone better, then I would recommend using him as an AMF. Or if you use him as an SS, then make sure you use him in the formation with 2 strikers, like SS and a CF, maybe 4-2-2-2. Otherwise, it's no use to use him on the wing. Overmars. Okay, the dilemma was Overmars. Now, I did say one of the worst legends I've used because he's very weak on the ball. The obvious thing, he's fast and he has a decent dribbling. Now, I remember someone told me, oh, you don't dribble enough. That's why you don't like Overmars. Well, when a player's physical contact is 65, you jackass, how the fuck am I supposed to dribble with him? This is no Ultimate Team or FIFA. We can't shield the ball. When I dribble with him, I simply have to space dribble my opponent. Because as soon as there's that impact, there's a physical tussle, he's losing the ball. He just loses the ball so easily. But when you have a massive space, you give him the ball. Off the ball, he is fucking rapid. For that reason, he stays in my team. Ronald de Boer, just no. Okay, next, Van Bronckhorst. Okay, now, he's a decent gem. For those of you who like to play team level 3, he does have the legend effect. Fuck his attributes. When I tried him, he does have the legend effects. He does have a good positioning in attack and defense. Riziger, definitely stay, man. This motherfucker, he actually can man-mark Ronaldo and Neymar. Of course, if you level him up. And one of the he's got the pace, he lacks passing and dribbling, but all I want from my fullback is to have the pace and intercept the opponent. And he's got a decent form, a decent stamina, man-marking, which if you man-mark players with him, he is better and has more effect. Players who doesn't have a man-marker card can still man-mark players, but the players who does have a man-marker card, they will efficiently man-mark their player, basically. And the one thing I like about him, he's got the playing style card, which is defensive fullback. Now, their defensive fullback, it's very, very rare. I mean, I could say maybe there are 5 to 7 defensive fullback out of the whole database of the players on PES 2017. Rui Vitor Baez, no stain for me. I did give him a lot of chances. You can see he's level 37. He's just shit. Even in my team level 3, I've never seen a legendary save. So for that reason, goodbye. And that's it, guys. I've literally released about maybe 8, 7, I don't know. I think I've got 16 legends left. So that means I've released about 7 legends that I don't use. Now, this is not something you're probably thinking, oh, it's stupid. When I release these legends, I will never have a chance to say, oh, I have a full legend squad. But I want to minimize the quantity of the players for quality. Because the higher the level your players are, the better they will perform. Once you have a squad with all level 50, you are golden. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you did. Comment down below about the legends. Which legend do you have? Which legend do you have? And what position you think he should be playing? If you have any question regarding any legends, I had all 23 legends and I've tested all of them. If you have any questions regarding any of them, comment down below. And if you want to see my squad and live gameplay every weekend on Twitch, make sure to join me there. And as you can see, all these legends are gonna go bye-bye. Basically, they're all gonna go. I'm gonna make them all trainers. So right now, what I can do, I can focus. For example, for each position, I have 5 CFs, I have 5 wing forwards, I have 5 midfielders, a couple of DMFs. I have a decent squad, but I care about a balanced squad. Right now, I only have 1 destroyer, which is Mascherano. And Anchorman, I do have Biscuit, I do have Yaya Torre, I do have Philip Cocu, but I need someone similar to Biscuit, which is gonna be probably I'm gonna get Matic. I have done my auction house. Honestly, guys, do not waste your GP on spins. You have a choice. You want to spin, buy coin. Don't waste your GP on spins, because it's all about which player do you need rather than which player to get. For me personally, I got so many players from the auction house. If you join my live stream, you'll be able to see it. I've got Diego Lopez, I've got Renato Sanchez, I've got Peter Cech. So many players that I think I need, I got it from the auction house. Until next time, ciao for now. Get your PES on!